Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of Parashat Pointers. We're getting ready for Shavuot and I'd like to talk about an amazing Gemara that's found in Masechet Pesachim. First of all, this week's message is dedicated by Netanel Levi in honor of his Eshet Chayil. Thank you so much. Well, there's an amazing Gemara Masechet Pesachim, and Rav Yosef, he would go and he would take Avdili Egla Tilta, he would say, give me a calf, a very, very tender calf, delicious calf. I'm going to eat this on Shavuot. And he used to make an amazing statement. He used to say, Eli ha-yoma, if not for this day, kama yosi ika bashuka, I would just be another Joe in the street. I'd just be a regular guy. What is the meaning of this statement that he was saying? I believe that Rav Yosef, fully understood that the Torah was not a burden to him. It was an amazing, amazing opportunity. It was a great merit for him to become a great person. In fact, he understood that if not for the Torah, he would just be a regular guy. The Torah made him into the great Rav Yosef. It gave him the tools to reach the great potential, to become such a great person that he was. The Torah and mitzvot are not just laws and recommendations that people make. It's a blueprint that Hashem had for the entire creation of the world. When you recognize that you're tapping into something so big, you're uplifting every action that you do. You're uplifting everything. Everything is so much greater than just an act that we just do. In fact, when you recognize that you're royalty. For example, you eat food, right? Someone could just eat something. I just ate food. What does that have to do with Hashem? What does it have to do with anything? But when you have the Torah and the mitzvot, every morsel of food that goes into your mouth is an amazing experience of connecting to Hashem. So what kind of excitement would a person have just to make a beracha? He's flipping out. That brings joy when we do the mitzvot. Kama yosi ika bashuka, I would have just been a regular person. Rabbi Hanani ben Akashia in Masechet Makot, the famous thing, we say it every time at the end of every class. Rabbi Hanani ben Akashia Omer, Kadosh Baruch Hu lezachot Yisrael. Hashem wanted to give us a zechut. He wanted to give us a merit. So he gave us so many mitzvot. We don't imagine looking at mitzvot as a burden. It's a zechut for us. But the word zechut also comes from zach. It cleanses us. It prepares us to become better people. The Arizal used to say, and he declared, that the gates of wisdom were open to him because he served Hashem with joy. That's why he got everything that he got. Because when we serve Hashem with joy, that means we understand the gravity of what we're doing and we're accomplishing on a daily basis. So, the question we have to ask ourselves, if we understand that mitzvot is, forget about it, what an opportunity, it's great, it's fantastic. It's a zechut, it's a merit, it uplifts us, it makes us great in this world, and also gives us amazing reward, of course, in Olam Haba, in the next world. So then why would we be apathetic to do mitzvot? Why don't we want to go to shul? Why don't we want to wake up? And how do we get our children to feel that inspiration? The way to start is to realize that the physical pleasures of this world talks, especially to children. You can't tell them, Olam Haba. Because in the beginning of their process of keeping mitzvot, you need something to bring them in. That's why there's a famous minhag, custom, that some Jews have, that when they take their child for the first time to learn Torah, to learn the Aleph Bet, they wrap them in a talet, they bring them to the yeshiva, the Rebbe's waiting with these letters, the Aleph Bet that has honey on them, it's sweet. Because that's that initial taste. It gives that initial thrust to give them the strength to persevere in Torah mitzvot because it tastes good. It's physically pleasing. That's how you have to start. It's got to start tangibly. There has to be a tangible enjoyment that I get. That's why when we make kiddush, we have wine. So we have to work on that. Shabbat table, get all the delicacies, get a great item, great desserts, great food, get nice smelling plants, everything's got to just be physically pleasing because that draws them in. And that gives them now the ability to continue to keep the Torah. There's just a few examples that I just mentioned of how we make the Shabbat table nice clothing. when we make a siyum, we make a beautiful party. All these things add physical pleasures to this world, so that it adds physical pleasures to the spiritual growth. And that's what Hidur mitzvah is, by the way. When we make the mitzvah beautiful, that's what we're doing. We're making it beautiful to our physical senses. This is what kids can relate to. Obviously, as they mature and their spiritual level gets higher, they no longer need that, because they see that mitzvot are not always enjoyable. For example, when a child makes his first shahakol, he might get an ice cream. But every time I have a shahakol, if I would have an ice cream, who knows what I would look like, right? At the same time, there are other mitzvot that aren't so enjoyable. For example, if I just had meat, I had a hamburger, and I tell a child, you want that ice cream? He sees the ice cream, I want ice cream. He can't have ice cream. Why can't I have ice cream? See, there has to be a deeper appreciation for what Torah does for me, that my neshama grows. It's not going to always be physical. But in the beginning, to jumpstart things, you need that. You need that physical enjoyment. On Shavuot, we're going to celebrate the fact that we received the Torah. We eat cheesecakes and delicious delicacies. Why? For this very reason. We must make Torah physically enjoyable at the beginning of a child's experience. And Be'ezat Hashem, they're going to take that with them and feel the excitement for everything they do and all the mitzvot. Amen.